Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Readback portion of the theory class, lesson 18. All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to focus on final ED words, plural words, and numbers, along with stitching. All right, here we go. Ready? The clock is smashed. Period. Number 2, the cars are not waxed. Period. Number 3, she is so talented. Period. Number 4, the back door is bolted shut. Period. Number 5, the cat is curled up in the quilt. Period. And quilt would be KW short ILT. Period. Number 6, do they know what caused the fire at the old warehouse? And warehouse would be W long AR, second stroke HOUS. Interrog. Number 7, they laughed at the clown, which is KLOUN, with the wilted flowers. Now, flower is going to be FLOU. In a separate stroke, come back for ER. Third stroke, come back for final Z. We write it in 2 strokes so it doesn't conflict with flour, like the flour we bake with, which is FLOUR. So the flour that you smell is 2 strokes. Okay, so they laughed at the clown with the wilted flowers in his hat. Period. Number 8, who called the cops? Interrog. Number 9, he was, don't forget to phrase he was, EFS, he was relieved when he passed the quiz. Period. Quiz. KW short IZ. Number 10, I asked her if it scared her. Period. Number 11. I would have stayed at the beach if the rain would have stopped. Period. Number 12. Tess nodded her head yes. Period. Number 13. Our team scored a goal. Period. Number 14. They walked to the ice cream shop to get a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Now, vanilla, I would write that as V-A-N, come back for I-L, come back for A. Vanilla. All right. So they walked to the ice cream shop to get a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Period. Number 15. I hope they are not too confused. Period. Number 16. The bride tripped on her train. Period. Number 17. Jim advised us to keep up on our correspondence. Don't forget your brief for that, Korns. Period. Number 18. Josh says the deck of cards was stacked. And says, don't forget says is S-E-Z. Says, period. Number 19. He has been indicted for fraud. Period. Number 20. They conducted a campaign to help clean up the streets. Period. 21. The local market was robbed at midnight. Period. 22. The cop showed us his badge and shield. Period. 23. Have you paid the bill yet? Interrog. 24. Mike said he had expected to fail the exam. Period. Now, remember, exam can either be written as EX, come back for AM, or you can squeeze it as XAM. Talked about that in the last class. That's an option for you. Okay, 25. We looked at some new ways to save up some cash. Period. 26. His friends grinned when he played the crude joke on his dad. Period. 27. They have 2 dogs and 3 cats. Period. 28. It snowed for 4 days in a row. Now, don't forget, these are numbers that are under 10, so you're going to want to use your words, okay? So it snowed for 4 days in a row. So the number 4 is going to be F-O-U-R. Okay, number 29. The flag flapped in the wind. Period. Number 30. He hired help at the company. Period. 31. They hoped they would get more help. Period. 32. Now this is going to contain a phone number, so I'm going to go over that with you. The phone number to the new business is 781. So you're going to strike the 7, 8 together because you can lift up and come back for 1, lift up. If you have time and you know there's a hyphen, you can use the hyphen, which is initial H, final F for hyphen. Okay, so if you know a phone number has a hyphen, you can use that. If not, you would just add it. If that were a test, you would add it in the edit mode, the hyphen there. Okay, so 781, I'm not going to say hyphen, so you only add the hyphen if you know it's there. 781 3214. So you're going to strike 3, 2, and then the 1, 4 you can do together. Okay, period. Okay. Number 33. We waited in line to buy the concert tickets for 6 hours. Again, it's a number under 10, so we're going to write it as S-I-X, 6 hours, period. 34. He filed the papers in the wrong file. Period. 35. He spurned her for help. Period. 36. Jay fished for trout at the lake. Period. 37. The boss warned Steve he would be fired if he was, and you can phrase that whole thing, if he was late one more time. Period. 38. They played pool at the pub on Friday nights. Period. 39. We tried to get her to go to the game with us. Period. 40. The roads are flooded and we are stranded. Period. 41. Do you have, you can phrase that whole thing. Do you have the receipts for your purchase of the toys? Interrog. 42. They skated for hours. Period. 43. Her salon business is closed on Mondays. Period. 44. She completed all the, you can write that as AULT, questions on the exam in less than 10 minutes. Again, 10 is, we're talking about numbers that are 10 or less. So 10 would be considered one of those. TEN is the way you would write that. Then anything over that 11, you would use your number bar. Okay, 45. I washed and rinsed all the dishes. Period. 46. He wished he had not loaned her his new sports car. Period. $47. We were, don't forget your brief, W-E final R-P. We were all excited for her when she told us that she had passed the state exam. Period. 48. The ice in her iced tea melted in the hot sun. Period. 49. We wondered where they had gone. Period. 50. He ordered a hamburger and a soda. So let's look at that. Hamburger. You can write that as H-A-M, ham, burg, B-U-R-G, come back for E-R. Or you can write it as H-A-M, ham, burg, B-E-R, ger, come back for G-E-R. Hamburger. But then if you're doing it by spelling, you would want to write it as H-A-M, come back for B-U-R, come back for G-E-R. So there's a couple different ways that you can write it. Okay, it's where you hear the break. And if you're going to do it by spelling or by sound. Hamburger. Soda. I would write that as S long O, come back for D-A, or S long O-D, come back for A. You have a choice there. Okay. All right, let's see. 51. some months have 30 days. Now 30 is going to be struck at the same time, 30, comma, and some months have 31 days, period. 52. He will be 23 in a few days. So 23, you can strike that at the same time. So you want to do that. Period. 53. We found 12 errors on his paper. Period. 54. Her phone number is 634, and you're going to assume there's a hyphen there because it's a phone number, so you can write initial H, final F, and you'll get a hyphen. Otherwise, if not, it's okay. And then if it were a test, you go in there and add the hyphen in the edit mode. So 6341219, period. So in that case, you would strike the 6. So you would have to come back and strike the 3, 4 together. And then again, the hyphen, that's optional. And then 1, 2 would be together and 1, 9 would be together, period. 55. She lives at 2547 Oak Tree Lane. Now, in this case, you're going to want to flag Oak Tree Lane because you want all of those to be capitalized. Okay, so Oak, I would write it as long OK with the flag. Tree, TR long E with the flag. Lane, L long AN with the flag. Okay, so that they all come up caps as proper nouns. Okay, 56. The top of the dresser is 42 by 21. By is just BI, short I, period. 57. They cut 35 ribbons for the event. Period. 58. Kim wrote a 47-page report for her science class. Period. Again, if you know 47-page are 2 adjectives describing report, and you know there's a hyphen there, you can use the hyphen, initial H, final P. But, I'm sorry, initial H, final F. But when you get into speeds, you don't want to have to take the time to think about it. Like, oh, are those 2 adjectives that modify that modify that noun? Because you're going to, it's going to be a speed class. You're going to do everything you can to keep up with the speaker. So if I'm dictating slow and you're waiting for me and you know that 47 page is going to be hyphenated, then you can use it. Okay, just for your option to use it. But if you don't have time and that were a test, you would just fix that in the edit mode and add the hyphen. Okay. All right, 59. Lesson 19 starts on page 50. Period. 60. We will need 17 bags of concrete. Period. 61. Pam should be here in 20 minutes. Period. 62. They hired 41 new waiters. Period. 63. Is your phone number 731-6624 or 731-6642 in Iraq? $64. The kitchen is 14 feet by 20 feet. Period. 65. 65 runners will run in the race on Wednesday. Period. 66. He wrote 13 books by the time he was 30 years of age. Period. 67. Kara, and I would write that as K-A-R, come back for A, or you could do K long A-R, come back for A. It's however you hear it. Kara will be 14 on Tuesday. Period. 68. Drop off the package at 4358 Lambert Street. Now you don't have to flag Lambert because it's 2 syllables, but I would flag street so that you can get it capitalized. Okay, period. Yesterday, the score was 89 to 98. And you guys haven't had the brief yesterday. I'm going to give it to you now so you know it. It's YED. I'm sorry about that. You get that in lesson 21, so I apologize. So yesterday is YED. I just realized that. Okay. All right, 70. He lived to be 99 years old. Period. 71. Did you sell the 54 books in a rog? 72. Do you know Robin Foster, comma, FOSTER in a rog? 73. Her name is Kim Tate, comma, TATE. Period. 74. Send the information to Liz Dahlstrom, comma, so just write out Dahlstrom phonetically. I would write it as DAUL, come back for STROM. DAHLSTROM. Period. 75. Do not open the letter for Ken Clark, comma, CLARK. Period. Joyce Klein, comma, CLINE, comma, works at the phone company. Period. Now, Klein, when you write that phonetically, it would just be KL long IN. But then when you go to stitch it, you stitch it the correct way, which is CLINE. So then if that were a test, you would go in and you would actually take the word that you wrote phonetically and change it to the correct spelling and leave the stitching. Okay, so that's what you would do on a test. But right now you're just writing it on your machine, so it's phonetic, except for the spelling. Okay, 77. Our teacher is Linda Thomas, comma, THOMAS. O-M-A-S, period. 78. Alice Perez, comma, P-E-R-E-Z, comma, lives at 5023 Grove Street. Period. 79. The phone number for Bess Fox, comma, F-O-X, comma, is 760-2114, period. So in that case, that number, the only number that you could do together was the last two digits, 14. 80. They will interview Jason Quinn, comma, Q-U-I-N-N, comma, today at noon, period. 81. Sam Heller, comma, H-E-L-L-E-R, comma, is the correspondent, period. 82. I love to eat salted peanuts when I go. You can phrase that whole thing, when I go to a baseball game, period. 83. He teased her until he made her cry, period. 84. Where can I get my typewriter? Now you're going to use your brief for writer. So type is T long IP, and then writer would be W-R-I-R. Your brief for writer. Repaired. Interrog. I don't even know if people still have typewriters. 85. She had her hair weaved at the hair salon, period. 86. The hunters hunted for deer and rabbit. Period. 87. The gentleman called to tell her that he would be late for the date. Period. 88. May we go to the haunted house on Saturday? In Iraq. 89. Jack teased his sister and wife. Period. 90. The rubber raft had a hole which caused the air to leak out. Period. Hole, H-O-L-E, you're writing it just like it sounds, H long O-L. If I were to say whole, like a whole piece of pie, that would be W-H long O-L, so there's no conflict there. Okay. All right, 91. He was asked to judge a scholarship. Let's write that out. S-K-O-L, come back for A-R, come back for S-H-I-P, scholarship. Pageant, P-A-J, come back for E-N-T, on Friday. Period. 92. She feared that her nightmare would come true. Nightmare. N long I-G-T, and then mare, M long A-R. 93. Janice answered all the questions on the questionnaire. Now we have a brief for question, which is K-W-E. So questionnaire, you would just come back for a long A-R. K-W-E, come back for a long A-R. Okay, 94. Were you paged when you went to the hotel? Hotel can either be written as H long O, come back for T-E-L, or H long O-T, come back for E-L. In Iraq. 95. They stalked out the crime scene. period. 96. He hugged and kissed her, period. 97. We laughed when we saw the old dog walk, period. 98. She looked so tanned after her day at the beach, period. 99. The stuffed bear tore at the seams, period. 100. She loved to watch the waves. Not what those waves are flagged. Roll in, and that roll is just ROL. Okay. 101. She could not answer question 23. Period. 102. The company advertised the big sale, that sale is flagged, on page 15. Period. 103. If you add, and that add ADD has to be flagged, otherwise it'll conflict with newspaper ad, which is AD. So newspaper ad is simply AD, but add, like add 2 and 2, that would be A, flag D. Okay. If you add 27 and 72, comma, you will get 99. Period. 104. It is predicted to be 91 today. And predict, I would do PRE, second stroke, DIKT, final, come back for final D. Predicted. Okay. Let's see here. $105. They have 10, I'm going to use your word, TEN, gentlemen on the baseball team. Period. 106. Those were the Good old days. Period. 107. She caught a mild cold. Period. 108. He failed to hold on. Hold is a long O. Period. 109. We were appalled. I would write that as A, second stroke, P-A-U-L or L. Third stroke, come back for final D. Appalled when they appealed to us. Period. 110. They told us, long O, to buy gold, long O. Period. 111. She was spoiled. I'll write that as S-P-O-I-L, second stroke, come back for final D, by the bald old man. Period. 112. The thin man was the thief. Period. 113. He smiled when asked to shield the field. Period. 114. It is hard to define a thingamajig. Now let's talk about that. Don't freak out. Doesn't matter how many syllables it is, you just write it out phonetically. So thingamajig. I would write that as T-H-I-N-G, thing-a, M-A, jig, J-I-G, thingamajig. Period. Okay, 115. Bring a thermos to the thicket. Period. Okay. 116. They have been through, and that through is just T-H-R-U, thick and thin. Through, as in he threw the ball, that would be T-H-R long U. Okay. They have been through thick and thin, period. 117. You will be thrilled when you earn some gold. Period. 118. Do you have, you can phrase that whole thing, do you have a sore throat? Anurag. And 119. Your rose has thorns. So it's possessive your. So long you are. Your rose has thorns. Period. All right. Now we're going to end on me giving you just a few names with spellings, just so you get a little bit more familiar. Right now, I know it's a lot to take in, but just go back and practice this and you will get it down. Okay. We will, be reviewing these in other lessons to come as well. Okay. Karen Bell, comma, Bell. So you're writing Karen Bell phonetically, and then you're going to stitch it. And if that were a test and it came up differently, you would go back in the edit mode and fix it to however it's supposed to be spelled. Okay. Dennis Harrison, comma, Harrison. Linda Grant, comma, Grant. Walter Coleman, comma, Coleman. Brenda Griffin, Griffen. Carl Knight. Now let's look at the difference between Carl and Carol. So Carl, I would write it as Karl. Carol, I would write it as K long AR, come back for OL. Okay. So Carl Knight, comma, KNIGHT. Ann Spencer, comma, SPENCER. Mike Valdez, comma, VALDEZ. Jill Guzman, GUZMAN. Roger Yates, YATES. Kristen Copeland, COPELAND. Dan Monroe, MONROE. John Weber, WEBER. E, B, B, E, R. Nan Bookman. B, O, O, K, M, A, N. Helen Lynn. L, Y, N, N. Chris Hunter. H, U, N, T, E, R. All right. Well, that concludes our read back for lesson 18. Again, if you struggled with the names and spellings, just go back and listen to that portion again until you feel more comfortable, or go through your alphabet, A through Z. Do it as many times as you need to. And I would start out each day doing that as one of your warm-up drills. That will really help your fingers to get going. I did that all throughout my speed classes. Just go through the alphabet, and you'll, each time you do it, you'll get a little bit faster. And just remember, it's not about speed in theory. It's about, you want to make sure that you're writing accurately. Okay. So that concludes our read back portion of lesson 18, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.